are there any stories that people are not correlating strictly to heaven and per se Catholicism or a specific religion?
Sure.
Is there other differences that correlate to someone's beliefs? Maybe they're Muslim or this or that, and they're seeing more correlations to their religious beliefs, or does it seem to be an over-encompassing umbrella there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Again, we tried approaching this open-handedly in terms of just wanting to know and interviewing a variety of people. But for me personally, that it's very real that I want to know what happens. I just who isn't asking that question to know what happens after we die. But for me, it's just like because of my loss. Of course, I want to know if this is real or not, but also, what are people experiencing? And in particularly, what are they experiencing outside of North America? So that was a question that we asked and we included in the film. So out of the 14, there's several people that we include that are coming from non-Western countries, different religions, different backgrounds, because it's just curious, like in their case, is it the same? Is it not? And so everyone kind of has like a different, almost like vernacular. In some cases, it's language too, right? Language. Some people we interviewed, several people, English is not their first language, and if they can speak English, it's very broken. But they kind of have like different terminology for what they describe. Maybe not everyone would say, the word heaven, and not everyone would say necessarily like, let's say Jesus or Christ. Using words like that, but they would say it's like I'm meeting a man of light. Let's just say if the descriptions I would say are the things that seem to overlap in what they're seeing, and not everyone meets that man of light. Sometimes it's just dead family members, or it's like these spirits or angels or something like that. In some cases, there's none of that. It's like we've interviewed people that they kind of consciously are in a place that they might term like the void is a common term that's kind of gets used, and it's like it's almost like a conscious awareness in total darkness. But for them, it wasn't distressing or alarming. It was actually peaceful. It was like it's just almost like this not holding place, but I don't know what that is. It's like they're in this it's a conscious awareness in an emptiness. And then in some cases, like we interviewed one gentleman who that's all it was. And then he came back. And a different woman that we interviewed, almost the same description, but there was a voice that was speaking to her. And just it was all affirming and encouraging. And then it was like, it's not your time. And then, she comes back. But then we've also interviewed people, which we've included in the film, that they seem to go to, by description, a similar place. But to them, it was actually alarming or distressing. So we, out of the 14 accounts, we include 3 people who had what they might describe as hellish near-death experiences. But hell isn't always the term that gets used. It's typically, it's just something that someone comes back and has PTSD from. It's very distressing and alarming.